On this week's episode, we'll be having a chat with Ian Sparke, founder of Sparke Films, and an inside look at a local film called The Battlefield Competition.
And you'll be getting an exclusive look at the very first episode of new web series Cluck.
You are watching Showreel. Welcome once again to Showreel. I'm Benjamin Chikos.
And I'm Jacob Paint. We're very fortunate to have a special guest, Ian Sparke. He is a costume and production designer as well as a military advisor. He and his son operate Sparke Films. His sons operate Sparke Films, a company specialising in military costuming and props with the largest costuming collection in the country. Without further ado, we welcome Ian Sparke to Showreel.
Welcome, Ian.
How are you?
So what exactly does someone doing costuming and military advising do on a film?
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit different to have both combined there. But what's happened is it's been a long road, which we won't get into, but a long road that led through military and through filmmaking to end up being together. Costume, I guess, and military together means that our big thing is to make everything look very, very real. We don't only do military, we do the civilian from the period, which I really love. And it's one of those things that you're so well known for doing khaki and olive drab that sometimes it gets overlooked that you still like doing the petticoats and the suits and everything else. So.
How do you get started doing what you're doing? As in, at what point do you say, I love costume design and I love military, let's merge these together, and at the same time, let's make it Hollywood as well? How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't think you really set out that you're going to be a costume designer in the film industry. I started very, very young. I was a very sick little boy, and so it was much better for me to study things. And TV had just started when I was about 6 or 7 in the Hunter Valley. So I started to study because I had a lot of times where I was very sick. So I'd studied and studied and studied Australian history. And then the filmmaking just became part of it. I didn't realise that some of the games that I was playing was actually getting ready to be on set. Strange as it may seem, I've been on the Pacific. When I was on the Pacific, I thought I've done this before, or I've thought about this before when I was about 7 or 8.
So you probably knew a lot more than most of the people on set because you'd actually studied it way before its time.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I never would say, never put down anybody. But certainly my passion is there and it's real. And it's something that I've had to do. I guess I've had a very, very long apprenticeship. And later, probably around the time of 1993, Unknown Soldier, it came together. And after that, it became military and design.
What's the Unknown Soldier? Tell me about that.
Well, the Unknown Soldier, the Australian government decided they'd go to France, and the Australian Army was over there. They picked out one of our poor chaps that didn't have a name. Obviously, he had been lost within time on the battlefield, and they brought one chap back. Now what my task was to do, and I was in the Army Reserve at that stage, I had to leave the reserves because you couldn't be a soldier and do the design at the same time.
So you were in the Army as well?
I was in the reserves. I was concurrently with everything else I was doing, I was also an Army infantry reservist. But I put together, I think, what became a very, very good lot of uniforms correctly done for the Australian Army, and the Australian Army wore that in the ceremony in Canberra. So it was fairly big exposure for me at the time.
And what did that lead to?
Well, that then led into the film industry. More people got to see us, the more people work with us. They found that we were easy to work with. We've maintained that throughout. I've taught my boys that too as much as I can. I don't make them be in the film industry, but if you're there, treat people respectfully. Look after them.
Did you go hunting for the film industry, or was it one of those things where they just came to you and said, "Can you do this for us"? Like, how does one get into your particular position?
It kind of happened both ways. That people were looking for me. The more work you do, people saw it. At first, it was very much, "Can you set all this up for us?" And then they'd take it away, and they'd be getting the accolades. So I thought that was a bit unfair. Plus, I really wanted to be on set. I wanted to show what we were like on set. We had that thing that we didn't want to be overbearing. We wanted to be real, and we've maintained that. And once we got on set, our first big break, first big film was The Great Raid.
Which I was in that, and Jake was in that.
So it's kind of like a reunion here today.
Yeah, cool.
And but yeah, that's what we did, and we've stuck at it ever since, and we've just kept getting bigger and bigger roles.
And to do costuming, especially on those big military films, like The Great Raid had hundreds of extras on there. I mean, how big is your collection?
Well, it's huge. Now remember, every film has things from parts from everywhere, so they can bring in stuff from America. And we're not saying that every film is all our equipment.
Yeah.
But on The Great Raid, I was a webbing researcher in that, but I was also number 2 of the webbing department.
Fill me in. What is webbing?
Webbing is really load-bearing equipment.
Right.
You can imagine having a load-bearing equipment department. Webbing sounds
for
much
soldiers,
better.
like the backpacks that soldiers wear.
Yeah, it's all the equipment that a soldier has on. So you have your costume, and on The Great Raid, webbing was actually attached to art department. So they'd leave the costume department, they'd walk through, and then you'd equip them out. The good thing I like about webbing is that it creates very much a personal thing about the soldier. So you can change the character by looking at the webbing.
Where are you getting it from? Are you you're just collecting this from all over the place in historical stuff, or do you actually have to build the replicas so that it all looks authentic yourself? Where does it come from?
Well, at first naturally it was just getting it in from everywhere, but luckily I started very early, so we've still got gear that I started when I was 6 years old.
Were you doing it because you loved it? Like, did you already have a whole bunch of bedding under your bed, and then it just turned into, oh well, this is useful for TV, or did you start collecting it after you got into the movie scene?
No, I'd actually started before. But
So it was already a passion.
It was
that
already a
just grew.
passion, but what it was I was looking at the things very personally.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at the soldiers on the screen, I didn't see killers or anything like that. I saw what they really are. They really are humans there doing a job. Doesn't matter which nationality, that's how I looked at them. So every piece then became very personal, it still is. As we got further up, yes, then you're trying to equip 300 Japanese, or you're trying to equip Australians and First World War Australians. So you want to do it precise and well done.
All right, well, we're going to have to take a small break at the moment, but we'll be back soon, so don't go away.
Welcome back to Showreel. We're continuing our chat with Ian Sparke. Now, as it turns out, Ian, you're not just a costume designer, you're not just a military advisor, you're also a producer in your own right, making your own movies.
Yeah, no, exactly. I guess the best thing to say is we're filmmakers, and that's what we are. We love the whole process of making films. About 20 years ago, I started writing what we hope will be a very, very good film on the Great War, the Australians in the Great War, and we wanted it to be very realistic.
What's it called?
The 34th Battalion.
Okay.
Now, we learn things too, so we probably preempted and probably announced it a bit too early, a few years ago now. But we've certainly continued just to put shoulder to the grindstone and keep working away.
And so, when do you anticipate hopefully getting that one done?
That's a merry-go-round of naturally distribution, finance, and everything else. But at the moment, I can say that they're both, because we've got another smaller film. They're both at Cannes or Cannes, whatever you say in France, from this week onwards. So they're there doing the marketing, and we've got Screen Queensland going to see the stalls there, and everybody would love to see it going, and so certainly would we after all this work we've put into it. Yeah.
So you've got your own studio, and you're telling me you're working on more than just one film. Like, how many films are you working on at the moment?
Well, currently we've got the 2 that we're working on, so we can't do with 2 that we want to get going, which is the 34th Battalion, which is an epic film. And then you've got Red Billabong, which is an action adventure. We're not saying too much about it. We're keeping it very close to the chest.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more mysterious, yeah. We've kind of learned, as we said, there's always things to learn in the industry. When to say something, when to keep a bit quiet.
Very cool. And we did mention earlier the competition. You're helping other people in the industry as well?
Yeah, we've actually done, there's not only the competition, there's a couple of little films we're helping younger directors with. So we're becoming a bit more in the producing side of things in that way, helping these young people get going too. So we're trying not to be selfish in the way that we look at things.
As far as I know, so you had somebody come up to you and approach you to say, look, we want to make a battlefield competition. We need something that's amazing, and basically you're like the most epic resource of military stuff ever. So what a win for them.
Yeah, and that's what we tried to look at it that way for him. So, but we were pretty serious about it. We sat him in the boardroom and he had to tell us what he was going to do for us. And I think that's harder for us, but we've got to do that.
Yeah, well, I can't imagine there'd be too many entrants that would have that sort of a costuming background and everything. That's a huge, plus for that sort of a film.
Yeah, it certainly is. But we also told him, don't expect everything. Just because you've got great production values, they'll look at the whole film.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Anyway, on that note, we're going to give an inside look at how the costuming and makeup come together for the battlefield competition.
Did I show? Yeah. More cartoon watching butane. Get that inner child kick.
Yeah, get on your mate.
SpongeBob. Check out Jim Davies on ABC. That is some fun crap.
Peter, helmet for Natty. They all need sweat powder. Put it around your neck.
Thanks, Brody.
Right, average age. I mean, brother. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Come on, you bastard.
I was just thinking that we do Vietnam. You videoing?
Sweet. Board to it? Is it exciting?
How do you use this
He said he won't really be nervous until it happens. It hasn't happened yet. He's just like,
Holes and not. Continuity. Yeah, well, that's right. But then we didn't lie down on the same thing.
Sorry, occupado.
You are here, Sparke in the spot.
He said he was doing things well. He's doing things well.
Good part of London, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Although they've cleaned far too much of it up now, it's hard to recognise.
That's not Paul's character, isn't it?
Some of our guys would be confused, and it would be like, do you need any help? Do you need some help with the moving those boxes?
You're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah, we've got people paid to do this.
Yeah.
Just wait there until you need it. And warm now though. And there was one part that was nice. Quarry. It was supposed to be.
I was wearing German gear and I was wearing shorts. Oh yeah. This is actually for it too.
no, like that.
Two Frank, take one. Rolling and action. Yankee Zulu, do you read me? This is Yankee Zulu. We're taking heavy fire. Everyone's ready? Action! Yankee Zulu, do you read? Yankee Zulu, do you read me? Lieutenant! 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 Cut.
You want longer when you're home?
You got some good cutaways of that, Ben?
Yep. Action!
So it's time for us to take another break, but stay tuned for more Showreel.
Welcome back to Showreel. We're going to leave you now with the first episode of the hilarious new web series Cluck, directed by QUT graduate Vincent Chen. You can find the full video on our website, but before we go, thank you for joining us, Ian.
You're a bit of a man of many talents, so we've covered costume designing, military advising, producing. You've got your own studio. You apparently also do makeup.
Well, we've got a makeup team to do that.
Or could you do anything with Jacob's face here?
I don't think they could. No.
No chance? Okay, all right, well, we'll leave it at that then. So be sure to check out our Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages and the Showreel podcast on iTunes. And don't forget to donate to our Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. But until next time, thank you very much, Ian. We'll see you guys then.
And I was like, whatever, babe, you're too clingy for this stallion. And she was all like, oh, but Julian, you're the only man I'll ever love.
She clearly wasn't right for you. She's a smart, reasonable, attractive woman. You look like a stump.
You... Hey! Bro! Simone! Working on fashion! Leslie! Free Saturday, yeah? Yeah. Oh, nice. Son, babe, what are you doing here?
I got the messages you sent last night. All 218 of them.
Hey, son. Just making sure that we're still broken up. Please don't run. I'm nothing without you. Yeah, sorry about that. It's just, I guess I miss you.
Why are you whispering?
I think I saw somebody having a nap. We work really hard out here.
No, Julianne. You just don't want your work colleagues to hear you begging me to take you back.
No, son. It's just I have a certain image to maintain. I mean, I'm kind of a big deal around here, so.
Do you even hear yourself? God, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Come on, Sonia.
No, Julianne, look, I've come here because I want to give you another chance. And I'm hoping it's going to pop that big head of yours. Look, a chicken was dropped off at the shelter last night, and he's kind of a special case. He needs constant supervision and TLC, and I want you to take care of him.
You want me to look after a special needs chicken?
Well, he's not so much special needs as he is violently suicidal.
Awesome. I'll just put him with my schizophrenic pony and my bipolar goldfish.
Julianne, please.
Hey. I'll do it. Of course I'll do it. But does that mean you'll move back in?
Look, if you can keep him safe until I get back, then maybe we can talk. But please keep him away from sharp objects.
Don't worry, babe. I will keep my wit at bay. It's on. I love you. All right, let's have a look at you. What the hell? Cock-a-doodle-doo, mother clucker! Oh, crap. Just let me die. I don't want to live. I can save her, my little ladybug. No! Oh,
Just let me down, man! I got no purpose!
I need you alive if I'm gonna get Sonia back!
You're ruining my final moments, you insensitive
ass! What the hell? That's genuine Givenchy! Hey! Get back here, you mongrel! Hey, I'm a little stuck here, so, could I get a bit of a hand? Anybody?
Oh my god, Julian. It's called Casual Tuesday, not dressed like a hobo Tuesday.
Yeah, well, you got me.
Yeah, Julian, this isn't the set of The Walking Dead.
That was good. High five that. That's amazing. That's not amazing. Oh my god, how does he even work?
Nice try, pal. And a floor fan? Really?
You know what, boy? I'm getting real tired of your shit, huh? It's just plain rude.
What you gonna do about it, Chicken Little?
This.
Wonderful, you're on board. I want the winter green jackets in here with the plum rouge skirts. The accessories will sit in the corner there, except, of course, the belts, which will be in the corner there.
Good morning, Mr. Saunders. Sir.
Plebeian. And that concludes all the time I have for imbeciles today. That will be all.
Holy shit. Oh my god, that was Mr. Saunders. That man is a god.
She's a prisoner. That whack job has her in a cage. Oh, hell no. None of my watch, buddy.
Chanel, Versace, Louis Vuitton, Armani. He's up there with the best. And he nodded at me.
Wasn't she the most vibrant bird you ever seen? Positively gleaming. And the colours.
Wow. Hey, where do you think you're going? Wait. That is not the way to my office. Where are you going?
We're on a humanitarian mission of avian salvation.
Okay. No, wait, you mean you're going after Lola? Not okay. Mr. Saunders adores that bird. I'd lose my job. Balls.
What do you think? I was in conference with Lola. Congratulations. I loved.
Are you crazy? Now listen here, you maniac.
No! You listen here, Julia. Here's how it works. You want me to hang around so your little girlfriend doesn't dump your ass? You're gonna make it worth my while. And I want something in return. So, unless you're willing to try your luck as a bachelor, you're gonna have to help me set that Scarlet McCaw free. What's it gonna be, mother clucker?
On this week's episode, we'll be having a chat with Ian Sparke, founder of Sparke Films, and an inside look at a local film called The Battlefield Competition.
And you'll be getting an exclusive look at the very first episode of new web series Cluck.
You are watching Showreel. Welcome once again to Showreel. I'm Benjamin Chikos.
And I'm Jacob Paint. We're very fortunate to have a special guest, Ian Sparke. He is a costume and production designer as well as a military advisor. He and his son operate Sparke Films. His sons operate Sparke Films, a company specialising in military costuming and props with...
Set out that you're going to be a costume designer in the film industry. I started very, very young. I was a very sick little boy, and so it was much better for me to study things, and TV had just started when I was about 6 or 7 in the Hunter Valley. So I started to study because I had a lot of times where I was very sick, so I'd studied and studied and studied Australian history. And then the filmmaking just became part of it. I didn't realise that some of the games that I was playing was actually getting ready to be on set. Strange as it may seem, I've been on the when I was on the thing is to make everything look very, very real. We don't only do military, we do the civilian from the period, which I really love. And it's one of those things that you're so well known for doing khaki and olive drab that sometimes it gets overlooked that you still like doing the petticoats and the suits and everything else. So.
How do you get started doing what you're doing? As in, at what point do you say, I love costume design and I love military, let's merge these together, and at the same time let's make it Hollywood as well? How does that happen?
Yeah, I don't think you're really...
The largest costuming collection in the country. Without further ado, we welcome Ian Sparke to Showreel.
Welcome, Ian.
How are you?
So what exactly does someone doing costuming and military advising do on a film?
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit different to have both combined there. But what's happened is it's been a long road, which we won't get into, but a long road that led through military and through filmmaking to end up being together. Costume, I guess, and military together means that our big